It was just another long, exhausting commute on the 6:45 p.m. train from Manhattan to New Jersey. The kind where city lights blur through the windows and everyone is too tired to speak. Among the crowd sat Emily, a 27-year-old nurse, still in her scrubs, her eyes heavy from the 12-hour shift she'd just completed at the hospital. Her feet ached, her head throbbed, and all she wanted was to close her eyes for just a moment. She slid into a window seat and rested her head back. Moments later, her body leaned sideways, and without realizing it, she fell asleep, right onto the shoulder of the man sitting next to her. The man was Marcus, a quiet, middle-aged teacher with a gentle face and tired eyes of his own. He glanced down at the young woman now asleep on his shoulder. For a moment, he considered shifting, maybe waking her gently. But he saw the exhaustion, written all over her face. He recognized it. He'd seen it in his late wife during her chemo treatments, the same drained surrender to sleep. So he stayed still. The train rumbled on for over an hour. People came and went. Some gave the two a second look, but no one said anything. Marcus didn't move, not when his arm started to go numb, not when his stop was approaching. When the train finally reached the last stop, Emily stirred awake, confused. She blinked at Marcus, suddenly realizing she had spent the past hour sleeping on a stranger. "I am so sorry," she said quickly, brushing her hair from her face, embarrassed. Marcus smiled gently. "No need to be. You looked like you needed the rest." She sat up straighter, her cheeks red. "I didn't mean to. I had a long shift. I'm a nurse." "I figured," he replied kindly. "Thank you for what you do." Before she could respond, the overhead voice announced the final stop. They both stood up. "You missed your stop," Emily said, noticing the station name. "I did," he said, chuckling, "but it was worth it." They walked toward the exit, together. Outside, it had started to rain. Emily looked around and frowned. "My ride isn't here yet. I guess traffic." Marcus opened his worn-out umbrella and held it over both of them. "Let me wait with you," he offered. She hesitated. He was still a stranger, after all, but something about his presence felt safe, familiar, kind. They stood under the dim streetlight, sharing the umbrella. They talked about her work at the hospital, about his years teaching middle school English, about how both their jobs were hard but important. Marcus listened more than he spoke. Soon, a car pulled up. Emily's roommate had arrived. "Thank you," she said again, genuinely, "for letting me sleep, for the umbrella, for everything." Marcus nodded. "Just keep being who you are. That's thanks enough." She got in the car, but not before quickly asking for his name. He gave it with a warm smile, then turned and disappeared into the rain, heading toward a nearby bus stop. 3 days later, Emily walked into her hospital's nurse lounge and found a manila envelope with her name on it. Inside was a note and a folded newspaper clipping. The note read, "Dear Emily, I didn't get a chance to say it, but that night, you reminded me of my wife. She passed last year. She was a nurse, too. Kind, selfless, strong. Seeing you asleep after working so hard, it brought back memories. Good ones. Thank you for that. Keep changing the world. Marcus." The newspaper clipping was from a local paper dated a year ago. It was an obituary. Marcus's wife, Linda, had passed after a long battle with cancer. The article mentioned how she had been a beloved nurse, how she had touched hundreds of lives. Emily sat down, overwhelmed. Her eyes welled up with tears, not from sadness, but from something deeper: gratitude, connection, and a renewed sense of purpose. She never saw Marcus again, but she started carrying an extra umbrella in her bag, just in case someone else needed it, because sometimes humanity is a stranger's shoulder in a crowded train. Sometimes kindness is sitting still, while your own plans wait. And sometimes, the smallest gestures become the ones we remember forever.